Greetings and salutations, Focus Up family. Welcome to the January 10, 2026 installment of the Focus Up Show. We thank you for tuning in with us live every Saturday at 9 a.m. on YouTube and various other platforms, catching up with us on replay. And we ask that you click that like, that subscribe, that bell, and share to support and maintain your weekly Focus Up fix. I am Mr. Nice Guy, nice as in the word Saint spelled backwards. And today, my co-hosts are Brother Afro Agnostics, star of those Afro Agnostic videos on YouTube and social media. We got Brother Walk, star of not only Sex Talk with Walk every Thursday at 9 p.m., but co-star of Street Talk, the Brothers Johnson, on Sundays at what time, Brother Walk?
Street Focus. AKA Brothers Johnson show.
That's what's up. And then we got Student X, star of Mutant Politics, and infamous El Pooh, star of Spin That Back, which is often at 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays, right after the show. And somewhere in the ether, we got the boss man, Mr. Floyd X. Salute to you, brother. That's what's up. So no First Lady J, no AB, but we'll push forward. Salute to them, and hope we get them back on the show. But what's going on with you, Brother Walt?
Man, I'm chilling, hanging out with my son. About to go hit the park and play with these little Hubbard crafts I bought. I'm a great dad. I know no shit. No, I'm just hanging out. We're about to do a whole lot today. So, but right now, got to knock out this Focus Up show. It's going down. I hope y'all ready.
That's what's up. Brother Afro Agnostics, what's going on with you, sir?
Oh, man. Like, subscribe, and share. Focus Up show.
That's what's up. Student X, my brother, welcome back.
Yeah, all is well. Thank you, brothers. I had that little hiatus dealing with some of my family issues and whatnot, but just glad to be back here with you all.
You look like you lost a little weight. Look a little slimmer and trimmer, brother.
6'5", 210. No, I'm just
220. I'm back in high school. Football weight.
Am I right? Did you lose some weight?
Dang.
Brother Student X.
Yes, sir.
Did you lose some weight? You look like you lost
some weight. Yeah. So remember when we started 250, right? 250, 250, 220.
Oh,
yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. Looking svelte. What's going on with you, infamous El Pooh? What it do?
Man, I'm just happy to be here once again. Just watching the clown show with Genghis Don and his allies, all the stuff he's doing.
Oh man, yeah. Well, let's talk about some other depressing stuff. Let's talk about the NFL. So,
it's on today, fellas. Y'all know it, right?
So, why don't you put up the bracket there, Mr. Floyd X? Why don't you come in and say what you got to say, man?
Oh, he's all right. What up? Can y'all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yeah. So this is the NFL playoff bracket. Y'all know they got games today and tomorrow, I believe. And for me, I'm a Green Bay all day. We down there number 7. And I know El Pooh, San Francisco, number 6 seed. I was looking for the Raiders. I can't find the Raiders. I can't find the Panthers. And I can't find the Titans. And I can't find the Lions. Can y'all
find the Panthers?
Oh, the Panthers up there?
The Panthers playing the Rams today.
Where?
Nah,
the Panthers are playing the Rams today.
That's not according to this.
So the Carolina Panthers are playing the Rams today.
Update this bullshit. Boy.
Let me take it down there.
It's a wild card. It's a wild card game.
Wild card.
Take that.
Hey, I'm mad. Thanks for correcting me, student. Next time.
No problem, man. You know what I'm saying?
Must win.
Well, let's since we're here real quick, let's make a prediction. Who's going to the Super Bowl for the AFC and the NFC? Wow. Okay, El Pooh. We see yours. Okay.
Hey, let me say this. It's so unpredictable because some people show up like Rams had lost some games where it's like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? But this is very unpredictable. Everybody want to win. This time the fix is not in. You know what I mean? Well,
The fix. It's definitely a level playing field. Anybody, hey, shout out what's up there. Hello. Yeah, I don't you put them back up there. Let me see. Put the bracket back up.
I'm about to tell y'all when y'all done. I'll let y'all pick, but I'll tell you who's gonna win it.
You know, go ahead. Who you think is gonna be still next?
And there's not gonna be a popular pick in SoCal, but it's gonna be the Patriots. It's gonna be the Patriots, man. You know, this dude, the Patriots, they've been there, done that. They found their quarterback. He's playing the best in a whole game right now. They're solid on defense. You know, I feel the New England Patriots is going to be the one that ultimately win the Super Bowl, but we'll see.
Damn. Let me jump in real quick. I want to go with the Broncos going to be for the AFC and the Green Bay for the NFC. That's my prediction right there.
Yeah, I'm a conscious objector. I got nothing to say about this crappy Super Bowl. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for a Doomsday trailer gonna drop. They're gonna show the Doomsday trailer during the Super Bowl. So that's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, that's interesting.
You guys know, they label me conspiracy guy, so right now with this, a drum beat for war seeming imminent, how can the Patriots not win the Super Bowl this year? The fix is in, I mean, they're going to win it, I believe I'm going to go firm on the record, but no, it's straight up the talent that's there, is solid, a franchise that has done that many, many, many times, I think is
That's an interesting take.
Hey, no, the Patriots are for real. They got that ex-Titans coach. He was a bum. He was great. He was a bum. Now he's great again. So salute to them. So we'll see how it plays out.
Right.
What we got up? Let's hey, what's happening to Sister Joy?
Joy. Hello, Joy. I know her.
let's go into let's get right to with us, Mr. Sister Renee Nicole Good. So this sister, she was part of, they were doing like some protest stuff, where they sort of like follow ICE around and they at least do whistles, they do interfere after a fashion, but I mean let's be very straight up. This is no type of domestic terrorism. This sister, we're gonna play a video and you're gonna hear her tone and her words, her last words. And she made contact with the cop. But she clearly was not trying to run this over. That's a great point. Great point. Yeah, the ICE officers. No type of like training on the level of a cop, so they definitely should not be put in the same bout. But the bottom line is, ended up taking this sister's life. You know what? Let's go ahead and play one of the videos because a lot of the conservatives, the MAGA people, are basically saying that hey, she tried to kill that cop, or that it was justified. Even Stephen A. Smith is putting his 2 cents in there, but let the video speak for itself, and then we'll have some comments.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. That's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking president. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the
All right,
car.
baby, come on.
Whoa!
Now, did you hear that last comment right there? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I'm just saying it. So go ahead, Walk. You get first bite at the apple, sir.
This was horrendous. This was terrible. This was totally disgusting, inappropriate. They're totally not trained for the situation. Who just pulls out a gun on a peaceful morning? She was in a jovial mood. They was like, yeah, whatever, we good. And they're leaving. Then you pull out your gun to shoot her. She was not trying to run this dude over to do any harm to him. The roads was slippery. It was icy out there. Maybe it slipped a little bit, but you should know as a freaking ICE agent not to just pull out your weapon just to eliminate life like that. This is terrible, and I think this officer should be brought up on 1st degree or 2nd degree murder charges. Absolutely horrendous. Totally against it.
That's what's up. Afro Agnostics, what you got to say about this one?
Well, I didn't anticipate that response from Walt. Man, I have to change my response. But George Jackson talked about how the CEOs and police are mostly sadists. You know, it kind of reminds me of Andy Griffin's show. You had Barney Fife, who was, you know, about all standards of masculinity, minor of a man. But once he put on that badge and that uniform, that motherfucker would arrest his mama. And when you look at ICE, ICE is 60% white, mostly male. These are UFC fans. These are military enthusiasts. They would have joined. They would have joined the Tea Party. They would have joined the Ku Klux Klan. This is that demographic, that group. 50% can't even pass the test. I mean, these are and you give guns in their hand, and you weaponize them and license them to go in communities of color and poor communities. That is the goal, to harass. It's not really to deport, because obviously they're not doing that. They're not even doing Obama numbers. They're doing barely above 50% of what Obama did. So they're ineffective with more money and more agents, and they're doing less productive as far as the goal being to deport immigrants. So the goal must not be to deport immigrants.
Illegal immigrants.
Or to deport, but they're doing both in the process of doing that. But yes, that's the goal. They're doing less than Obama still, and that's the point. And you know, this year was their deadliest year, so we can anticipate next year being even more. So, you know, abolish ICE, man. Period.
That's what's up. F-ICE. Student X, what you got to say about this?
Yeah. I mean, of course, you know, disgusting. You know, let's look at the reality that we're dealing with here. Is, I don't know if anyone can see what I have underneath my profile there, you know, but it talks about when law dies, freedom follows. And, you know, Dr. King has said it like this. He said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So, you know, if you look at, you know, what's happening in the world that's being led by this administration, you know, honestly, you know, this is why I absolutely just wasn't opposed, you know, for, you know, Trump to come in power. You know, first of all, I didn't believe in any of them. As you all know, I voted third party, you know, but, you know, now we have, you know, the true face, the mask is off. We're seeing what it is, you know, and so if you don't understand what it is, you know, then, you know, now you do. You know, usually in our community, you know, when we see a situation where we're acting like this, because this is usually like how we're acting in terms of how the young lady and her wife was acting, you know, towards law enforcement, which was more hostile, not docile, if you will, you know, and then, you know, usually we say, well, damn, if they would have been white, you know, I mean, it would have been a different outcome. You know what I mean? But now you're seeing that, you know, there is, you know, a attitude, you know, within the ranks, you know, that, you know, this is already being swept up underneath the rug, you know, by the administration, you know, who has made comments on it, and not to mention the law enforcement. There'll be a lawsuit, you know, and I'm sure the family will prevail, you know, but yeah, this thing, you know, is absolutely disgusting. However, what I will say, and I'm gonna tell, you know, I'm not sure why, you know, Nice was referring to the young lady as a sister. I mean, I don't know if I'm missing something, you know what I mean? But, you know, in general, I would say this as a fellow human being, you know, we could all acknowledge that I would not like to see that happen. But just like I tell our people, is that when you're dealing with these law enforcement, you have to think, you know, I just assume you're dealing, you know, with the mind, you know, potentially someone, you know, who has authority and power and willing to misuse it, you know. So I just make sure, you know, and recommend that you be respectful and recognize, hey, man, these people, they're in power, you know what I mean, you know, and I'll be respectful, you know, handle the situation sensitive, you know what I mean, you know, so you could defuse what might be in their heart, which is to harm you.
Mr. Floyd X, what you got to say about this?
Hey, man, when I was in the Nation of Islam, Minister Louis Farrakhan used to teach us that the devil is real. And now ain't no little red man in a red suit under the ground. It's a walking and talking, living human being who performs and shows his face every once in a while. And what that ICE officer did to that Caucasian lady was the devil. That was nothing but the devil coming into life and existence and showing you that he is real. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God, but that devil is real. He's a walking, talking human being. So salute to the sister Renee, Nicole Good. I look at her as a martyr or a hero or somebody who is working, standing up against this tyranny government that we have. So salute to that sister, our white sister. Salute to her for doing what she's doing. She didn't deserve to die, but this Donald Trump is showing us that the Constitution and all this stuff for freedom, justice, and equality is not real. It was just a decorum of it's only real if everybody participate, and you don't have to participate. And he's showing us you ain't got to participate. I'm gonna free all the people from January 6th. Hey, shoot that mother right there in the middle street. And the day of judge, jury, and trial, I'm gonna say what it is. That man is innocent. He's free to go. That Antifa lady, she was a terrorist. She was trained to be that, and that's what it was, and that's what we're facing today. The next thing is, what are we as a people going to do? Are we just going to sit back and wait till it come knocking at our front door to be like, hey, okay, now this really getting bad. Now it's really getting bad. Nope, we got to stand with them. I stand with Renee Good's family and everybody that's out there protesting these ICE agents. Fuck ICE.
Infamous El Poo, what you got to say about this?
As everybody else said, it's a terrible situation and everything. But I just want to say, I think white on white crime is out of control. Yes, I'm not in this mess. And black folks, just keep on playing your position.
And I want to point out something. I'm going to put this thing up here and we see you try to read it. A lot of these people talk about how, she hit him with the or basically he was fearful for his life. But the actual rules where it tells you that, you can't, if you have the option to move out of the way, it's your responsibility to move out of the way. You know what I'm saying? It's sort of like with baseball. I learned this when my daughter was playing softball, that, they talk about, if you get hit with the ball, you get first base. But you do have to make an effort to try not to get hit. You can't just lean into it. They're not going to give it to you. So the reality is this cat, and again, that first shot, it's not right in the front. It's to the side. She was already going by him. And then you'll see that he's clearly shooting once she's clearly past him. And again, the vitriol, he called her an F and B. I mean, this is a dude, they're trying to say that, he was ran over before and, he's traumatized. Well, if he's traumatized and he's not competent to be an ICE officer, he should be one. So, that's what's up with that. So,
but the family's going to win the lawsuit, bro. There's no doubt about that. You know what I mean? So,
I don't know, because the lawsuit is being carried out on the Fed level, and Trump won't allow the state.
No, civil, brother. I'm talking about civil.
Oh, well, they got a GoFundMe that's already up to over $1 million. So their family.
Wait. They're gonna have the best lawyer. You know what I mean?
Nobody touched on this point though. Nice guy, you spoke eloquently about what happened with that is Captain Obvious. We see what happened. That was cold-blooded murder. But here's the thing. That been happening to black folks forever, for centuries. And it's all on tape. They get it on tape. They shot and killed him, shot the man in the back. He took my taser, all kind of stuff. So see, now this is sort of what's going on right now. The chickens are coming home to roost. This is stuff that's been going on with us. Now it's coming back to them, these people who just looked the other way when we was just getting shot dead in the street, killed by the police and all that stuff, with murders where the guy was in the back seat and he said he got a gun.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That one pisses me off the most.
And Tamir Rice as well, too. Just
I can't speak on that one.
I don't want to hear that shit from you, nigga. And just pulled up, shot that little boy real fast. Now, here we go with a white person who was just dropped their kids off to school and then get killed. This is chickens coming home to roost. Now, and it's like a double back. And it said in the Bible, that the trap you set you'll get trapped in the trap that you'll be ensnared in the trap you set. That's pretty much what's going on. Now it's an uproar about this stuff. And a lot of black people are like, oh my God, like boy, I'm like, oh Lord, she's somebody, she ain't no sister. But our sister got murdered. Sandra Bryant.
White sister.
I was scared. I said white sister.
I didn't get the memo. How, I know we changing words left and
we
right
got
these
different
days.
types of sisters. We got different types of sisters. There's different levels of sisters.
Maybe I say a sister from another mother.
A better word could be ally, other than
ally.
And I think that I'm saying that the investigation, I don't think is guaranteed to, rule in the favor of her. I just don't think so with what they're doing and what they want ICE to do. I think a big question is this accidental? Is this a few bad apples, or is this by design? I feel that it's by design. I think in every era, when you want to deconstruct gangs, you have to have the black shirts. The black shirts in Germany, brown shirts in Italy, Mussolini's Italy, fascist Italy. You have to have this extra police, extra judicial force out there on the street, giving white males mostly an opportunity to ventilate their racism. And that's what this is about. It performs a fascist function.
But this is not what this is about, bro. This is about people in power and those who are not. This is all across the whole entire planet, bro. The whole entire planet. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, and so we're calling, a young lady our sister because she was acting a fool towards ICE. I think what this really exposes is that the strategy that you and your allies are adopting or whack are not going to get you to accomplish.
I didn't. Hold on. What did you say before acting a fool? I didn't hear. What did you say?
I said, do we call her our sister because she was acting a fool?
Yeah, I said, are we calling? I'm calling her lady. I was
the first one to say it. Hey, but I was the first one to say it. I'll tell you exactly why. Because all of us human beings, we come from the same source. So I consider all human beings sisters and brothers on a level. There's some sisters and brothers that you're closer to. You guys are my brothers, but you guys weren't born in my household. So I have other people. And speaking of brother, I didn't speak on January 10th. This is the birthday of my brother, one of our fallen Focus Up members, Brick Walls. So rest in peace to Brick Walls. Happy heavenly birthday. But I'm just saying, there's levels of brothers and sisters. So that's what it is. White. I still consider white people my brother and my sister.
Okay, well, I'm not disagreeing, but like with me, I use a term, more if it's more intimate. You know what I mean? People, I know, and that we share, a similar struggle.
You said that she was.
I use it like we've been using it forever. You know what I mean?
You said she was cutting up. I said she
was acting a fool towards ICE, and then I further
the one that got killed.
Strategy is ineffective. It's not going to get you all and your allies the results that you want and I want. You know what I mean? So I think this is a good time to reevaluate how you want to play the game.
Student X, it's a fact that these people have actually disrupted a lot of things. So they've actually succeeded. In fact, the fact that they were dealing with her and not whoever they were really for, they literally ran in interference. It was at the cost of her life. But you don't have her on film being belligerent. She's not being belligerent. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to talk about, and even her wife is like respectfully protested. I mean, this is not. There's a difference between belligerent. We can show you some videos of that. And I mean, you talk about they're calling these people domestic terrorism. Let's rewind this back. This is not too far from January 6th. It's literally a day after.
There you go.
You're talking about Ashley Babbitt.
That's terrorism. Exactly. That shit was terrorism.
This is absolute terrorism. You have Ashley Babbitt. They're literally rushing. They broke into the Capitol. They're rushing security with the gun drawn, and the dude shoots. And guess what? They stopped. It was effective. It stopped the rushing mob.
I think in both cases it was not warranted. In both cases, not warranted.
My goodness!
Unnecessary loss of life. And both law enforcement officers were not disciplined.
What do you think they would have done if they would have got hold of police? You know that a lot of police were actually
if they would not have killed them, no one else got killed.
So you just basically just illegally let people come in there.
No fatality. Just like the officer in front of the car, I would have said, "Move."
Hey, Walk. I got a question for you, Walk. If that mob would have got hold of Nancy Pelosi or they would have got a hold of Mike Pence, what would have happened?
If would
What?
have,
What?
We already know.
We
That's
already
not what's about to happen that day.
That's my point.
People,
All right, let's bring it back down. Let's bring it back down. Come on, let's get back to the point. We talking about this Caucasian lady. Some of us look at her like a sister. Some of us don't. Understood. But let's focus on the ICE officers and how Donald Trump is planning to send, I believe it's 3,000 more ICE agents to Minnesota particularly. Is that wise to do?
No, I think
mean,
he's just inflaming the issue, and I think that's by design. You know, Student X kind of speaking towards what the people can do or not do when confronted with ICE, but that's kind of shifting the blame a little bit, I understand. But what about the institution of ICE? What can it do? What can the agents do? Let's talk about vetting them out more. About the question of is it even necessary, you know, to dispatch ICE in that way in poor communities of color. I mean, this is bound to happen. It's inevitable, and it's going to happen again. It's the approach. Again, remember, Obama, if your goal is to deport illegal immigrants, as Walk said, Obama did it better. And he didn't create this type of hostility and this bad rep and negative relations with the community. I mean, if that's the goal, then we got to look at what was Obama doing as opposed to what Trump is doing and cut that out at the very least.
Move to
That's
that.
what's up. So you know what? Let's pivot. So you know, there was another casualty.
You want to pivot now? You know, I mean, I thought we were just warming up on that situation.
Well, we actually don't want to spend too much time on any particular topic, but we're talking about ICE murders. There was another person that was murdered.
If Student X, if you got something more to say about, let's hear it, brother. What else you got to add to it?
Yeah, I just want to close on a point that, you know, it's you know, I appreciate what Afro was saying, you know, and as he was saying it, I was like, you know, picturing my 4-year-old grandson. That's like it's something he would say, you know what I mean? And it's so cute, you know what I mean? But it's not real, brother, you know, because the thing is that this is, you know, the president of the United States just got finished kidnapping a sitting president, you know, in another nation, and they're telling you all in the world that they.
You just pivoted to another one of our topics.
This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So the tactics, you know, that are being deployed, you know, you are saying is being effective, you know, and I guess, you know, I don't know, you know, the measurables and how you are quantifying that, but definitely in the grand scheme of things, you know, it is not having any impact at all, you know, and so, you know, if you're, you know, like I said, to our people and people who are wise, I would say if you're dealing with any of these law enforcement officials and whatnot, man, just deal with them respectfully and whatnot, and then you lower the probability of something bad happening. You know, that's not shifting and blame on anybody. I'm just saying if you want to increase the livelihood, you know, that you survive that encounter, that's the best move. You know what I mean? But if you do something else, you know, I mean, hey,
I think it's a bad message though, because you're only sending something to how people can respond to an oppressive agency instead of saying something about how that agency should respond or should be deconstructed.
Right, no, that's a different topic. That's a whole different topic altogether. And we want to talk about, okay, what can you do to abolish ICE, you know what I mean, and it'll impact their moves. That's a whole separate discussion.
I have one more sentence to say. I got you. But let me just, I'm saying one more sentence, please. I'm saying we can talk, ICE has not always been here. ICE has only been here since 2001. It's not needed. And if it is needed, it should not be used how it's being used, and that can be changed. I mean, Mussolini had a tighter grip on Italy. What happened to him? He ended up hung upside down at the mall by the socialists and the communists. So no, people can grab power. They can deconstruct oppressive things. What do you think the civil rights victories were about?
The agency alone was just given almost $1 trillion. You know what I mean? You know, so, you know, like I said, you know, strategy is going to matter in this situation, and how you move. You're going to make an impact in this situation.
Jim Crow was given more money than that. It deconstructed. At least
exactly. You're basically ignoring what's actually happened through the course of history versus protests and things that have actually brought about change. I mean, you talk about the civil rights movement and stuff like that. These things, you talk about Rosa Parks, you know, with something starts as simple as basically, you know, not giving up your seat, So I'm just saying that all of this stuff is basically an inspirational act that basically leads to numbers and masses and doing things. So again, it's a fact that these people have absolutely disrupted ICE activities, doing the things that we're doing. I agree. You should conduct yourself in a way that's going to give yourself your best chance to survive when dealing with a deadly threat. But also, we can chew gum and walk at the same time. It's their responsibility to still be responsible. We don't give a free pass for the police to do whatever they want. We don't give a free pass for the president to do whatever he wants. Everybody needs to be held accountable, not just the people that are being oppressed, but we also need to hold the oppressor to some degree of responsibility. So,
again, tactics, and I do not equate what those girls were doing at all with Rosa Parks or the civil rights, movement, victories that were had at all. It's not even on the same level. Again, in that situation, how they were encountered, the law enforcement, she would be alive today if she took, my counsel.
And if that cop would have did what he was supposed to do, she'd be. And if that cop would have did, if that fake cop would have done what he should have done, she'd be alive as well. So it's the same difference. Let's take a commercial break.
Commercial break. Bryant Trucking for all of your trucking needs. Y'all saw the phone number at the end. If you want something transported across the U.S. country, the U.S. states, call that brother. He'll come pick it up with his vehicles to help move your stuff from state to state. The Bryant Trucking.
My thing always be muting. That's it's gobealive.org. Go get you some of that black honey. Sister Nidra, if you want it in person, go to the Petty Vice at Venice or to the Apple City Marketplace at the Crenshaw Mall.
Hey, well, that's me. It's me. No. That's mine. Hey, Score Bar and Lounge. Go check out that Green Bay playoff. I don't know if they play today or tomorrow. I don't know what games are happening, but go watch the playoffs games at the Score Bar and Lounge. If you're here in Sacramento, 7123 Franklin Boulevard. It's a great place to go watch the game. They got security. They got good food, good drinks, a whole bunch of TV screens, and they got a pool table if you want to get your ass whipped. Just invite me and I'll come play some pool and whoop your ass some pool. Go to Score Bar and Lounge.
Turn up the dial, it's 10:30. Be back. Spin that back show, all the classics on track. From 79 to 99, we're crossing the gap. Album reviews, little known facts, hip hop intact. Saturday mornings, dive into the history. Samples and stories, old school mysteries. Early self-study, Shiraz, and TV.
Spin that back show. Saturdays, 10:30 after the Focus Up show. We will be back one of these weekends. So look out.
All right. Let's get to it. Nice guy. Are you muted again? Everybody.
I like this new feature.
Who the next one? I think y'all got to unmute yourselves. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so let's talk about the ACA subsidies extension. where there was a big, one of the big reasons there was the holdout, I guess with the, the big government holdout not too long ago was basically about, trying to get these subsidies extensions, for the American Care Act, informally referred to as Obamacare. And, even Marjorie Taylor Greene was sitting there coming out saying like, hey, this is going to hurt real people. We understand our politics on this side or the other, but when it comes to hurting the people, we should do something about that. Well, basically the House just agreed, or just, they basically ratified. They got it through, at least from the House. Now it's going to go to the Senate. Now it won't pass in the Senate as is, but there is hope and talk that some form of it will survive. So, hopefully for the people that will benefit from this, they'll have this. It's not something that affects me. It's not something that I need, but I appreciate it for those that can, that do need it. So, I hope it goes through. Anybody got anything to say about that?
Nobody care about this.
Yeah.
My daughter.
I mean, we should care about it because, as one who works in the healthcare field, is that, there are some people that have better insurance than others, and it definitely impacts your quality of care and even the resources and tools you have access to, so it's definitely important. Unfortunately, this highlights, the fact that, at least you have, some people who have constituents that are on their ass, because no, this is not all of them, but, these, I guarantee you, are constituents, who are active and making sure, that, their representatives are going to at least deal with this issue and keep it alive, but it's not going to solve the problem, and I think is, very indicative in the fact that when you look at how much money is being allocated towards ICE, to the buildup in into the Gulf, the take down these, Venezuela, and look at how our own citizens here are not being taken care of. This is what it means when people were talking about America first. They wanted these resources to be utilized for our citizens. It's not being done. And I would think that that's something that really the majority of us could agree on. And I think that people should be looking for allies and partnerships and alliances across the aisles, even with people you haven't traditionally agreed with, because there are a lot of things that impact us all, and health insurance in particular, that, we're getting the short end of the stick in terms of the American people.
Oh,
Go ahead, Afro.
Next
Go ahead,
guy.
Afro. We can't give horns for American first. I'm just saying, there are some issues American first.
For mutual, for things that he got a horn for talking about. There's certain things that affect all of us. That's what he got a horn for. He said, and he was basically saying that some people are arguing about America first. I don't think he was basically arguing that, but go ahead, brother.
Those people are living in fantasy land. I mean, the American first is a racist expression. This is something that was started in I think the early 20th century. It has nothing to do with protectionism per se or any of the other things that we now associate with it. It was a Klansman movement. It was a movement about purity, racial purity, and things like that. So, but I want to say that really quick, as far as the beautiful bill, 70% of the tax cuts went to who? The top tax bracket, the top 3% of of earnings. So that's part of the problem. If the Treasury is the same year after year, if you give one group a large tax break, inevitably what's the outcome of that? You have to reduce spending in other areas. And this is just an example of that. Or then you have to borrow money from who? The rich again, and they're going to charge you interest. So, and that's called the deficit. So, either you're going to tax the rich or you're going to borrow from the rich and then owe them more and increase the deficit. So, that's the essence of the problem right there. It's not this group and this is the tax break that we're giving to the rich.
Infamous El Poo, you got something to say about this?
Not really, because I really don't have too much to say about it. But I will say this: get ready, in about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll be in a whole nother government shutdown, going through the same thing again.
Ouch. So did you want to say something about this, boss, before we pivot?
I'm good, brother. I'm good.
All right, let's talk about let's talk about what's going on.
I wonder how that even became a topic, to be honest.
You see that because it's important for people to have health care. I guess you're a monster.
That's
You don't care
American,
about people.
man.
Yeah. You don't. You're a
Yeah.
monster. You don't care about. Yeah. Okay, I get it. You know. Yeah. You're proud of what your president has done in Venezuela. Speaking of that, let's talk
your
about
president too, my nigga.
it. He ain't my president.
I
He's the
promise you he
president.
is. I promise you he is.
Yeah. So anyway, so the just basically it's right now. It's okay. You can just go ahead and snatch up presidents and stuff like that. Let me just put this picture up here. Let me see. Here we go. So so Trump is very proud of his accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? He went and snatched up the president, a sitting president in a sovereign nation. You know what I'm saying? And basically he did this, and then just didn't. It wasn't even a regime change because all you did was take the top guy, and now you're working with the vice president. It's basically the same type of situation. So we'll see how this plays out. A lot of this is supposedly about oil and whatnot. I mean, a lot of the industries, a lot of the big people that are dependent on this stuff that he's dependent on, they're like, that's a very hostile place, and it's we're trying to actually make movements toward clean energy because it's actually making us a lot more money. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna take a ton of money to fix what's to exploit what's in Venezuela. So there are some issues about this, but I know that. I'm gonna give Mr. Student X the first bite at the apple about this because he knows a lot about this stuff. Go ahead, Mr. Student X. You got the floor.
Yeah, well, the first thing I would just say on this is that you definitely gotta establish the motives, and so we all know in fact I even heard Afro talking about the Don Road doctrine here, but of course we all know about the exploitation of the natural resources. But again, I'm not sure if it's been mentioned, but among the other goals, which are high on the priority list, was to cut off Latin America's ties with China, as well as Russia and Iran. They want to threaten other left-wing governments in the region, and particularly Cuba and Nicaragua. They want to destroy this project of regional integration that's taking place in Latin America and the Caribbean. And then, of course, sabotage of global South unity, especially Venezuela's support for Palestine, Iran, Africa. So there's a greater war. Basically, the war is against you. Against us. While you guys were talking about your sister, y'all didn't even talk about your brother. They got knocked off. I don't know that we changed the topic on him. But look, the thing is that going back to Venezuela is that this situation is what Trump is weighing, which I think is already decided, is you're not going to, take the government unless you put boots on the ground. Because Venezuela, they're not some rogue nation. They're a government. They have, laws in place, and so they have a successor, the whole 9 yards. The world has been allied, in saying that the president and his wife who's injured in the attack should be returned. But right now, boots on the ground is the only way they truly impact the overthrow, and the oil companies aren't going in until that's accomplished. So they're at a stalemate right now. I don't think Trump would do that because there absolutely would be more American casualties. They did there were injuries in the initial attack. But of course, most of the injuries were sustained by Venezuela and the Cubans that were guarding them. But this, as you know, is not over yet. Venezuela has not bowed down, but they have been also found out that there was at least one high-ranking official that betrayed their country and allowed for the defenses to come down, which allowed for the air support to come in, and then the Delta Force to do what they do. And they're among the best of what they do. So,
Brother Walk, what you got to say about this?
Salute to all our military forces, the Delta Force, United States Navy, baby. You know what I'm saying? And for flawless execution of getting Maduro out of there. But I do want to say this: I feel that was a totally illegal mission. They did kidnap that guy and his wife. It was totally disgusting. I think President Trump should be arrested and impeached for that and thrown in jail for that. That would be, I compare this to like them doing that to us, storming into the White House and kicking the door in and taking Trump and his wife into custody. Like, it's totally disgusting. It's trash. But here's the thing. This is just what's going to happen. No one's going to do nothing about it. It's nothing going to happen. But Trump was right. He's like, yo, he's trying to win for everybody to win because he will be impeached come the next office that come in.
There's something being done about it.
Huh?
There's something being done about it. I can tell you that right now.
Wait. Hold on.
You're not finished? Go ahead.
What do you mean? What's going to be done about it?
Well, no, I'm gonna wait till we get through the thing, but I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
El Pooh,
Yeah.
El Pooh, what you got to say about this situation?
There's a new picture that came out in the Epstein files that says that Trump is a bully. Here it is, right? Wait a minute. Here it is, right here. My bad. Sorry about that.
Totally agree.
Go ahead.
I'm not done.
Okay.
I mean, who's to say that other people won't do the same thing? I mean, like China, they can go into Taiwan and take the leader of Taiwan and throw him in jail. And, you know, the same thing can happen. He can do the same thing to Zelensky. I mean,
he wish he did that already.
Yeah, really, I guess. He even changed the whole playing field. So, I don't know. The rules done changed now.
That's what's up. Afro agnostics. What you got to say about this?
I completely agree with Student X on this one. I don't know why we agree on the international thing and the domestic thing. I mean, they both are connected, and it's not an either or. You know, money for war, money, but not money for poor. They're interchangeable. They're connected. But and then what Walk said, yeah, a lot is being done by the Venezuelan people themselves on the ground and in their institutions and institutions over here as well. So a lot is being done about it. But this is the what do you call it? The contagion effect. That's part of the Monroe Doctrine. They know that they cannot let Latin American countries, or not too many at a time, exercise independence or sovereignty. And as Student X said, you can't let them link up because that's totally against imperialism. That defeats the whole purpose. That's what the Monroe Doctrine has been about since 1820. That's why the United States is an empire. Secondly, I want to say about the oil, they may not be able to realize profits from the oil immediately, but it's not so much to take the oil, but it's to prevent, as Student X alluded to, that he said, it's to prevent others from taking the oil. It's to prevent China and Russia and Iran and others from having access, because you notice the countries that have been having these sanctions on Venezuela, they're white governments. You know what I'm saying? It's the United States, Canada, and Europe. That's it. Nobody in Asia, nobody in Africa. And the majority of wars, and this is another thing about the patriotism really quick, is that, you know, when you end up patriotism for black people, you end up, they give you a gun. That's to give you a gun to go kill some people of color so that they can extract the profits. I mean, we don't gain from that. You know, as Muhammad Ali said, them Vietnamese ain't never called me nigga. That's not my enemy. So that's the issue that I have with the patriotism around it.
Mr. Floyd X, what you got to say about this?
I mean, I think everything has been said pretty much, but the bullying tactics and the necessity to stay in control is disheartening and pretty much disgusting. But it's kind of like you try to understand it, try to see where he's going with this, but to arrest that man and his wife, which makes it more humiliating. I don't know if it was an arrangement made to where he got the vice president is in control now and nothing really changing, or if this was just a demonstration, he just put a demo down. But hopefully that, when somebody thinks about the 80 to 100 people that was murdered during that thing, to call it a flawless victory, Mr. Walk, people died in that shit. You know what I'm saying? Just bombing and going in there. That's not flawless to me, brother.
On our side, it is.
Man.
But wait, I want to say this. Y'all saying nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Okay, the vice president, she's now the president. Maduro's out of there. His story's over. Now, she's in line, and Trump already told her, you going to get something worse than that. She falling in line. They already said that they made an agreement that with the oil profits, they're going to have to buy American goods or something like that. It's a lot of things that's happening behind the scenes. She know better.
No, bro, that has not happened at all, bro. And in fact, you know what's happening again. You know, I take us back real briefly in history.
Google machine
is at the BRICS summit in Russia back in October 24. Putin that came out, President Putin came out and announced a blockchain-based payment system, that bypasses the U.S. dollar. So Brazil was already using it. South Africa was already using it. Iran and Russia are selling, different trading deals. But Venezuela had applied for formal BRICS membership, which meant almost 304 billion barrels of oil reserves was going to be integrated into the new BRICS economy. So right now, like I've been telling you all, is America is falling. She's not behaving like she's a superpower, because she's not. It's definitely no longer a unipolarly a unipolar world at all. It is multipolar now. And when Walk is talking about nothing being done, Afro is absolutely right. First of all, the people of Venezuela have been armed, and most of the Venezuela terrain is jungle. I remember there's a time that Americans was in the jungle. I think it was Vietnam. How'd that go? You see what I'm saying? It won't go well, at all. Right now, Russia has already put nuclear subs in the water, headed this way, because they have had their boats, kidnapped, if you will, hijacked, if you will, piracy by the American government. So this is increasing the likelihood of a serious conflict, that's taking place. And I understand America's, position. They're saying, like, look, man, we got to take this hemisphere and make sure we control it, because we fucking up and we don't want to change our ways, at all, so we're going to continue to be a bully, and not be a representative of justice inside the world. And so with that position, others don't like that. And then you're uniting those others against you. Even this Greenland situation, they don't need that, because already in terms of, controlling the seas, they control those seas and waters with all the subs, that the U.S. has in those regions, to where, there's no threat that's there. They do want Greenland again for natural resources. America is falling, declining. The only way that she can survive.
Totally disagree.
You could disagree, but I'm talking about the facts, of the matter, and you can tell back.
Can I just say something?
Wait. Let me respond, because he said he didn't agree with what I'm saying. The U.S. and Venezuela recently reached a significant oil deal in early 2006, January 2006. That's this month, allowing Venezuela to export $30 to $50 million barrels of crude oil to the United States, redirecting supply from China as a part of the negotiations with the U.S. military against the actions against Maduro. That just happened. I've
been saying, we've been seeing all type of articles that's been coming out, that have not been giving the American people the facts, like I said, I do believe that the CIA has assets there, and they have, they obviously, have a certain level of confidence. But like I said, we've seen this show before. This is not going to go well. They do not have control of the situation at all.
None of the future is in promise. Trump is running. I think, Walt, you can't agree. Trump is running a gambit. It's a risk, and I think that gambit was taken out of desperation. They had every sanction in the world. They were strangulating Venezuela, but Venezuela still stood strong, still was defiant, and that's what. And out of desperation, they had to show a demonstrative force because of the contagion effect. They don't want these Latin American countries to link up, like Voltron. So imperialists must do this every once in a while. You must demonstrate brute force. But I don't want to be the stormtrooper for that, Walk. So that's why I don't speak out of a position of patriotism. I don't want to, as a poor black man, go over there and fight. I'm not realizing any of those gains from the oil. It's the oil companies that are benefiting from that.
And if I was, that's just what I'm about to say. Even if I was getting any benefit, I don't want that blood on my hands, because I'm not supporting that. Yeah, exactly. So let's speak about the pastor's wife's dress. Somebody pull up this picture. This has been like a big issue.
There's a picture at
yeah. Okay. So here goes the picture. So a lot of this, there's been a big stir up. Now again, she did not wear this dress at a church. This was not at a church. This was at a gala. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a church. It was at a gala. Again, There's no skin. That's not skin showing. That's all solid material right there.
That matters, nice guy. That
it does matter.
Matters where
Of
she
course
wore
it
it.
matters.
Fuck no, it don't matter.
She wore that shit out in public. She's the pastor. I think she's a pastor also. And she wore it out in public to insinuate it's like me walking around with a deal to say, hey, it's not real. It's not real. But I got a strap on. Walking around with a strap on. It's not real.
Absolutely.
If you see it in person, it don't look like that. I'm just saying that they show you the dress. That's just like saying
what do the lines insinuate, or what direction? What they highlight? It's obvious. Go point.
First of all, if you don't got no
discipline,
discipline,
but you can't look at my coochie. That's what that dress says. Look at my coochie, but you can't see my coochie.
Right.
That ain't not where your coochie is. The coochie is underneath there, but still, I get what you're saying. But the bottom line is these are designs. You know what I'm saying? That's like, so if you can, so Spider-Man, his webs probably basically point directly to something as well. Is that going to be an issue? I mean, it's just, I'm just saying that at the end of the day, this person was wearing, if you want to say form-fitting, that's where you got. But at the end of the day, this was a solid dress. And had you seen it, again, pictures tell you one thing, but when you see something alive, it's a whole nother thing. There was, this was just a person wearing a completely solid dress. It's form-fitting, and it's just, that's it. At the end of the day, I'm not ashamed of the human body.
Shame.
I work in a school, and I've been working in the public school district for years, and most of the dress code, restrictions, and most of those who get infractions or punishments for inappropriate dress are girls. All this stuff is really policing what girls can wear, what women can wear. And I just think is ridiculous. I mean, and women never really try to police what men can wear. Men can be, I've seen young boys with breasts that look like traditional women breasts, and they can wear it out because they're boys. I mean, it's a lot. I don't see what the big deal is. This is like so.
I want to challenge you on that, nice guy. Okay. Some schools, boys can't wear certain hats because they're nice affiliated. I mean, I want to challenge you, brother Afro. My bad, my mistake.
Same person.
Men and boys are regulated. That was a good one, Walt. Men and boys are regulated. If it looks gang affiliated, even if they're not gang affiliated, you can't wear certain clothes. So boys do get regulated, and men get regulated. And
I didn't say they didn't. You said they get. I'm saying it's more on the girl side. Most of the dress code is for girls.
They say caps. They don't let females don't get to wear those caps either. I remember Magic Johnson Theater. It was like no caps. They didn't say boys you can't wear no caps. And again, that's a particular gang affiliation. That's just like us going to pasture and you wearing red. It's gonna be a problem. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the nature of what it is. That there's gonna be the association. But now you're talking about your lust, you can't control. Now you're just gonna have people just wear up a habib. You know what I'm saying? You need the women need to wear a habib.
They go get a face mask
to keep you from your horniness, your male horniness.
You are supposedly representing God, your God, and you representing trying to be an example. And
the first lady.
Who got something to say about this? Because I'm waiting for y'all, and then I'll go ahead and say what I got to say.
When you're in the shower, you represent God still.
Hold on, just real notice. An atheist has to lean on religion to make his point in this context. That's interesting.
I'm not leaning. I'm just saying what you represent. I'm not leaning on nothing. I'm just saying represent what you represent.
Oh, you saying because they're Christians? Okay.
It don't have nothing to do with that. I feel Floyd ain't speaking because he's a man who has children and he got nieces and nephews, and that's a disgusting look for the pastor's wife to be running around fucking naked. I don't think he's going by nothing to do with whether he's religious or not.
Walk. It disgusts you?
It disgusts me for her to be a representative, just like Cardi B, nasty ass, was a married woman and left her fucking husband to have a baby, a bastard child from a nigga worse than Offset. Yeah, it's a representation of our people. It's disgusting. Yeah.
I don't like those shapely, half-clad women. Ugh, nasty.
That's the pastor's wife, bro.
Let me say one more thing. I know Student X is just patiently waiting, El Poo. But listen, real quick, Brother Afro, do you want to entice men to look at your wife? If you was married?
Some men do. I personally don't, but some men
Okay.
do.
Is that appropriate?
It's whatever they agree to. If they're a couple.
I hope no man is out there trying to get me to look at their wife because it's disrespectful. I hope there isn't men out there who are like, hey, look at my wife's vagina. Look at the dress. Look at her vagina.
Now,
gays. Gays and I. Reckless eyeballing.
Exposing your body part can be a disruption in certain contexts, but I'm saying advertisers use sex all the time to sell items. I mean, that nicely dressed woman who's dressed quote unquote appropriate next to that car is there for a reason to sell that car. She's selling sex. It doesn't matter if it's explicit or implicit.
All right, let's get the last two in. Let's get the last two in on the subject. Who going first?
Let's do the next. Go ahead. Oh, you look like you're about to say something. El Pooh, go ahead. Your mouth is ready. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to ask Afro what was pastor's wifey trying to say?
Oh, I didn't hear. I'm sorry.
I said, what was pastor's wifey trying to sell?
Oh,
I don't know. Could be selling membership to their church.
Okay, I get it. So look,
what type of church is that?
A mega church with a lot of money. That's Jamal Bryant's wife. They have a lot of money. I think down here in Georgia. I think they relocated, but they have a mega church.
That new birth where they had that pastor that was sleeping with the boys.
Oh yeah, the prior,
yeah. No, it's definitely more new school. But no, what I would say is that the position that Afro took and Nice took, no disrespect at all. However, typically that type of response, I usually see it isolated in a single man take that position, and then men whose wives don't let them tell them what to wear. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, I could tell by Brother Floyd. I'm sure that if his wife has something, that he didn't feel comfortable with her stepping out of the house with, he could just tell her to go switch it up. He's gonna get switched up. You know what I'm saying? And likewise, you know what I'm saying? So, but those of you that don't got it like that, and I can understand why,
So you're missing a little bit of information. He picked the dress out for his wife.
I bet he did because you got some men out there that like Brother Floyd, is talking about.
Yeah.
They like to, advertise, they women, and it's funny because it backfires more time than not. You know what I'm saying?
They call them trophy wives. They want to put them on the shelf. They Ice-T, Kanye West. I mean, some men they do that.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't see anything wrong. Some men do. Some men don't.
Straight up, but when Brother Floyd said God, I didn't take that as religious, because hell, it might as well have been me. God don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Go change that. I need to represent me and the family, in a different way. If that was in my wife's mind, but in this case, like I say, you want your wife to look presentable and well, but different men, want their women, to represent them and the household in a different way, than that, so to each their own. He a man, and then that's his wife. If that's how they want to roll, it is what it is. But if I was a one seeking the path and looking for a church home, and I was a little bit more conservative, I definitely wouldn't go in that direction, for sure.
Infamous.
Men a lot of times, even it's not just. I think the perception is that these men are simps and stuff. Ice-T is no simp. Some men, they view their women as their possession and their property, no different than their car or their clothes, and they want to advertise her to the world. That's what some do.
Oh yeah.
El Pooh.
Okay, I'm not passing judgment or anything, but I'm gonna just say this. I saw a woman walking down Figueroa the other day with a dress just like that.
Damn. Just like that. Boy, on. Shit.
Disrespect.
You gotta watch where you walk when you dress like. I tell my friend he used to have a narco car. I was like, man, you can't just come up in the hood like that with that car. You know what I'm saying? With like police. You gotta know where you are to be appropriate in any situation.
But she sure the fuck didn't know where she was at, and her husband didn't know either because he's the leader of a church. And people, this is what's wrong.
It was a successful church, very successful church.
Man,
Plain successful.
you should hear all them pastors talk behind the
successful.
curtain, you know what I'm saying, to one another. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to distinguish them from, a regular average ass Negro. You know what I mean? Straight up.
So it shows that you're going to find out that a lot of people that are rooting on one side of this position, a lot of people are rooting on this other side. It's sort of like Republicans and Democrats. You know what I'm saying? One of the funniest things for me when I look at this situation is that people that basically don't believe in God are basically defining what God accepts and appreciates. There's this presumption, this concept that God's got this issue with the human body. If you buy that whole Adam and Eve story, I mean, God wasn't clothing them. They clothed themselves. Now you can say, hey, they were only two there, but the presumption there was never going to be no clothing. I mean, I'm just saying, it's just like, this uptightness, this conceptuality, this is something that happened after the fact. But go ahead, Mr. Floyd X. Go ahead.
I just want to close it with this. Last week, I quoted Ice Cube and NWA, you got to let a witch be a witch. I think this week, Pastor Jamal Bryant is taking Willie D's advice. You got to let her be a...
Disrespectful.
Hey, well, Jamal Bryant like, hey, you want to be that? Be that.
We get support from religion, rap lyrics of Willie D to support our position.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Albert Nazi. What a nice little frame right there. Exactly. So that having been said, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate all the comments, even the white person going nuts and talking a lot of that ridiculous stuff. At the end of the day, we appreciate your views. We appreciate your input. Peace out.